I greet you grand forces of Mkhonto wesizwe. I greet you sympathizers and lovers of Mkhonto wesizwe. I greet you masocha kababu hlekisa mhlanganyela Zuma. Comrades, I think today we need to clarify the thing of ground forces. But when we talk about ground forces, a ground forces is not a cabal. A ground forces is not a group of certain individuals. A ground forces is everyone who is working to build the organization that is going to liberate the coming generation. A ground forces doesn't belong to individuals. So we have noticed the individuals who are using the name ground forces to push their narrative, to push their agenda. So now from now on we're saying no to those individuals who want to use the name of ground forces to push their personal squabbles. We are saying the ground forces is here to build the organization that is going to liberate the coming generation. If we don't stand up with the ground forces of the organization and unite and be one, and start building the organization of our forefathers, and start building the organization that is going to make sure that the ground forces of Mkhonto need to unite. So we are ground forces. As long as we are building the organization on the ground, we are a ground force. A ground force, I belong to. A ground force is the name of everyone who are building the organization. A ground force belong to all people who are working to build the organization. We also need to start learning. We also need to start reading books. You see, these books are very important. Once you start reading these books, you will understand why we have ground forces in every organization. Because the ground forces are people who have dedicated their time and energy to build the organization on the ground. The ground forces is not a cabal. The ground forces doesn't belong to individuals. The ground forces, all of us who are building the organization on the ground, we are the ground forces of this organization that is going to free the marginalized people of this country. Ubaba Zuma gave us the motor vehicle as the black people, as the marginalized people, to come together and unite so that we can be able to take over Umhlaba. But the petty squabbles that we are pushing in the organization, hey, these are ground forces, hey, these are what must come to an end. All of us, we are the ground forces in this organization. Because our aim and objective are one. Is to see Umhlaba ubiyela ezandleni zabantu abamnyama. Is to see children of the poor and the poorest eating better than the dogs of the rich. Is to see abantu abamnyama bakwazi ukuparticipate economically. Our enemy is one as the black people of this country. Our enemy is the Rupert. Our enemy is the open-aimers. Our enemy is the white monopoly capitalists who are milking the resources of this country. Our enemies are open-aimers who have the private airport in this country. So we need to come together as the ground forces of Mkhonto and stop with these petty squabbles and start building the organization. Next year, 2026, local elections. Let's unite the ground forces of Mkhonto. The ground forces I belong to. The ground forces is not a cabal. The ground forces is not a structure, but the ground forces is the group of people who dedicate their time and energy to build inhlangano that is going to free the poor of the poorest. Amanda.